Well, I was hoping we would start this episode with, hey, we're going to try these new Universal Yums box from Greece.
Turns out it takes a while to ship things from Greece, I guess, is what you're finding?
I don't know where they ship these from. I'm hoping, yes. I'm hoping it is from Greece. But when you brought that up, my brain just went, what if it's from Schenectady or something? You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know where it's coming from. We'll try it on our next podcast, I guess, since it's not here yet. And we might pull our intern Abby in on it as well because, well, we got her back.
Yeah. And in case you missed what we're talking about, over the holidays, we found this Universal Yums place that you can go and get boxes from around the world and sample some of their foods. So I believe it was Conductor Paul said we should try Greece. We're trying Greece.
We're trying Greece. Yeah, you've probably seen these boxes on your socials before. Yeah. And you tried one before. You were not impressed. But we'll see if Greece does better than South Korea.
South Korea.
Okay, yeah. I feel better about Greece. I feel like I'm going to get some olives at least.
I'm just happy that's 2 times in a row, back to back, you said the right. You,
Instead
for whatever reason, keep saying Belgium. I don't even know where that's coming from.
I think I want waffles. That's the best I can come up with.
At least you have a good reason, and that actually is a really good reason. I did not see that one coming at all.
That's the best I can guess. So we'll try it next time, I guess.
So you have a choice: Belgium waffles or Greece waffles. Did that even sound good? Does it?
Well, I'll try them either way. I'll take a waffle. You can't go wrong with a waffle. Here's a pro tip: make your waffle with funnel cake batter.
Okay.
Ooh, baby.
Is that a game changer?
Yeah, it is.
I'm not a big waffle fan.
Well, you would be. Are you a funnel cake fan?
Not so much.
Really?
Yeah, I just think it's overdone. Yeah.
It's got that crunch to it, like the funnel cake. Yeah. So it's got the crunch from the waffle maker, but it's a little bit sweeter because the batter is a little bit sweeter. Ooh, that's a vacation waffle right there. I get them on vacation.
I'll tell you what ruined it for me is growing up every weekend, the entire Roberts family would meet at the grandparents and we would have waffles. I think I literally just got burned.
You got waffled
out.
Well, you got to throw in other ingredients in there. Once you get tired of the waffle, you got to mix it up. Maybe throw in do a chicken and waffle. Throw some eggs on that baby. Put some bacon in it. Why not? You could even, then you can go dessert side. You can throw on the whipped cream and the strawberries you can mix up waffles a lot of ways.
I just had this revelation because you brought up the chicken and waffle. I forgot. Now, the whole chicken and waffle thing.
So good.
I love. And those waffles, but here's what's really funny about me. I am so weird. So I like the chicken and waffles, but I'm not a really big fan of the waffle cone for ice cream and stuff.
What is wrong with you?
I prefer that. What is it? Is it? I don't think
the regular, the sugar.
Is it a sugar cone? I prefer that over the waffle cone.
Why, Jeff?
I told you.
Who did what to you?
Who hurt me?
Even the ones from Boomtown Creamery. Those are so good. Okay. You walk in and you smell them, and it's amazing.
There again, you busted me. Okay. So yeah, Boomtown Creamery and waffle cones.
So you're just particular. About
I am
waffles.
picky. Does that surprise anybody that I'm picky?
Not even a little bit.
Wow.
Not even a little bit.
This coming from the one who can't make a decision can make a real big decision when it's slamming me.
I'm good at that.
Yeah, you are.
Since we're circling back around to things, I do want to quickly circle back around to this podcast talk that we had last time about the podcast award.
Yes.
Because as soon as we got off the air, I walked into my home, flipped on Netflix, and boom, there it is. A bunch of podcasts from The Ringer are up there. Bill Simmons is doing live, which I think is amazing. As a sports podcast, you want to come on live right after a sports event? Boom, you got it.
Yeah.
I mean, the capability is amazing. I see a huge advantage here. We'll see how that goes. I saw actually one of the podcasts I listened to mention that they are also going to be moving to Netflix and they're on iHeart. What I think is interesting is they've also referred to frequently not getting very many YouTube viewers. They're not happy with the amount of people watching on YouTube. I'm wondering if Netflix is going to change that. Are more people going to watch on Netflix because it's there? Or are they still going to have problems with viewership? And I've heard a few bigger shows mention hey, we don't even know if the YouTube is really worth doing anymore. We're just not getting enough views on it. And I know.
For real.
So I know, kudos to Netflix. They're always experimenting with different things, live sports. And so I'm not surprised that they're testing the waters on this podcast area. I'm curious to see if they stick with it or if they're going to test it for 6 months and find out that people aren't really watching them. It looks like I kind of looked up the deal that they did. They paid good money for them, but they didn't overpay. So to me, it indicates that this is more of a test phase for them to see how it goes. But if it goes well, then again, we're looking at are we moving into another category of entertainment here altogether as video podcasts, which is different than a TV show? They're saying a lot of these, they want to see if they can rival a lot of those talk time talk shows, daytime talk shows. Because really, a lot of the format is interview format, like Amy Poehler's Good Hang One. How is that any different than the Ellen DeGeneres show? You know what I mean?
I don't think it's any different.
It's less production, so it means less cost for Netflix to churn these out if they're going to be involved in some of the production costs of things like that. I don't see any lose here for them. I'll be curious to see how this all pans out. But of course, getting Spotify podcast, Ringer, Bleacher Report, and a handful of iHeart ones. I'm curious to see how this goes.
Yeah.
But the podcast space is so interesting to me, and that's just me nerding out about the podcast space mostly. But since we talked about it last time, I wanted to follow it up. I was like, well, now I sound dumb because we just talked about it, and I got home, and they are putting it on TV. So therefore, now this is a TV category, so I guess it belongs in the Golden Globes.
I guess so.
Okay.
One of the things, and I know this is going to sound late to the party, but it kind of blew up in a huge discussion here at the station, and I thought we'd throw it here on the podcast, is the OceanGate Titan Submersible Implosion documentary. And I think there's actually 2 of them.
Yes. When these came out, I don't know, a year and a half ago.
Yeah, no, I know. And I don't, maybe because it was, for me, it was too soon. I was like, man, I'm not going to watch that. But for whatever reason, I did finally end up watching, and I can't remember which one I watched.
Yeah, well, yeah. When they release them close together, it's hard to believe. But I think that I watched the one on Netflix, if I'm remembering correctly. Either way, that story, man, what a disaster. And in a completely preventable disaster at that.
So if you're late to the party like we are, you need to go watch it, okay? It's going to blow your mind. If you're not, then you can also kind of chime in the comments here, because I cannot believe how many times, I don't want to give too much away, but if you have multiple people multiple times telling you whatever your product is not safe, why do you continue on?
I mean, you do test runs for a reason. And when the test runs all come back bad, they're all bad. Maybe you don't have a concept that works. The ego of just thinking, it's just going to work. And
I thought about this too, because I've taken enough trips where we've done some of these adventure type excursions. And, thank God nothing has gone wrong, but they could have.
Absolutely. And it feels like things should be disclosed to you when you're signing up for these things. It's one thing if you are the inventor of a thing and you're going to risk your own life testing this thing out.
Yes.
When you get other people involved in it, you're at a higher level of responsibility. And I can tell you right now, I'm not getting into any kind of mechanic machine, anywhere that I got to be bolted into. That's my door. You got to unbolt me out.
Yes.
No, I need too claustrophobic. I'm going to need to be able to exit myself some way.
You said it best. You said you were bolting me into a coffin.
Basically, yeah. That's what I was just like, nope, I'd have been out right then. You're going to have to get those bolts back out. I didn't know that this was how it worked. I need a door on this baby.
I mean, because I did. After we talked about it here at work, I went home and talked about it with Janet, my wife, and we were like, okay, we've done the zip lining and stuff before, and something seriously could have gone wrong there. But here's the difference. They didn't share it with us, but maybe they didn't have 17, test runs where the zip line failed.
Right.
I guess what blew my mind the most, like you said, if you're the owner of the company and you're trying to get this thing to work, I get it. If you're the employees of the company and you're going to, even though you know how many times
you've signed the disclosure, Yeah.
But that father and that son
should have never been on there.
No. Or at least they should have said, look, guys, we've had some serious issues. You need to know before you go down with us. This could be your last time on Earth.
As soon as I heard that hole, there's no way. I mean, you hear the hole cracking. It's a fiberglass tube that they're sending down there. It's just, if you haven't watched the Titan documentaries, pick one or the other. Yeah. It doesn't really matter. I think they cover them both pretty good. But yeah, it's a sad, tragic, fascinating story. A good life lesson about ego. Maybe just slow your roll.
The next thing I wanted to talk about, and maybe we need to slide this over to our radio show and do a debate on it or something, or a totally random too, where we can get some response, because I don't know if we've gotten response about my robin-sized red-headed woodpecker and naming it.
Yeah, we might have to move that over, because I don't know that anybody cares what you're naming your woodpecker over on the podcast, but maybe our listeners on the air will.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what we'll do. If we move it over to the air, which I think we will now, we'll allude that you can go back to our podcast if you want and make a comment as well. But so here's the deal. I've got this robin-sized red-headed woodpecker in my backyard that is, literally...
Still there, huh?
Oh, and so loud and so just determined to put holes in everything that has wood. started making it a deal. And so I actually picked one. Right now, I'm using Sir Pecks a lot.
Okay. That's what you yell when you go out onto the back porch?
Yeah.
Get out of here, Sir Pecks a lot.
Actually, I don't yell at him, but I do. Janet's getting tired. Hey, come look, Sir Pecks a lot's back. I mean, it's the kids now don't want to come over because I do the same thing to them. But we threw out some other names like Red Foreman, Jackhammer Jack, and the Crimson Carpenter.
Okay, so we're mentioning this on air to mention that we're going to mention it on the air?
We're
mentioning it off air to mention that we're going to mention it on air.
Yes, but we're also mentioning it because maybe they're listening and they didn't hear it last time and they'll make a comment. I'm begging
Jeff
for
really
comments.
wants help is what this boils
help.
down to. Help Jeff name his woodpecker.
I don't want to go to Chat GPT.
Apparently Sir Pecks-a-lot is not cutting it. The people aren't on board with it. Well, I feel like, okay, if your family's opposed to it, offer a better suggestion. Don't offer me a problem without a solution.
That's a great idea.
That's what you need to tell
Next
them.
time they give me, yeah, I am. Well, what would you name it?
I don't know what you're going to end up calling that baby. I'm sure they got some. If I'm Whistle Britches, that's what Jeff's wife calls me. I'm sure she's got a name for that woodpecker.
Yeah, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not a good. I don't know. I need to ask.
No, she might have a
Whistle
good one.
Britches.
We'll throw it
Thanks for
out.
sharing that, Whistle Britches.
Whistle Britches.
Yeah.
I think it's a cute name.
You know your mom and dad are going to start calling you that. They listen to this.
It's cute. It does indicate that I fart a lot, which I don't think I've ever done in front of your wife. My parents probably could complain about such a thing, but your wife, I don't think, has ever smelt my scent.
Did you have to put it that way?
I didn't have to.
That's disgusting.
That's why I chose it. I wanted to throw this out there. We work in radio. We like music. I saw this survey that says...
Oh my gosh. This blew... I'm like, really? We need a survey for this? I saw this.
Well, I do think it's a little interesting. 84% of Americans say listening to music is an important part of their life, which I think, you expect the majority of people. We like music. Do you listen at least 1 hour a day? Let's pretend like we're not on the air. This doesn't count as listening, our job. But outside of work, do you listen for at least an hour a day?
Okay, so I have to go back to before I got into radio because radio did change all of that. But yes, before I was actually in radio, and that's all you listen to.
Well, you can listen to other things that aren't magic. I hate to say that in this podcast, but there are other
I
things.
do listen to other things that aren't. But I spend a lot of time listening to sports talk.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, so that's how you spend your time listening. That's fair. When you do listen, are you a classic rock listener? They ranked that as number one.
Yeah, I'd hate to say it's not my top, but it's top 5.
I would say I dabble in it, but it doesn't pop up on I listen to a lot more current alternative, and that didn't even pop up. Country came in second, and then pop in third. So
yeah, that doesn't really surprise me.
Okay.
I tell you what surprises me is we're talking about music. You just said the other day, because we don't travel the state as much as we used to, that you're not up on the current music like you used to be because of me, because of what I listen to.
Okay, I do know some current music. I don't know current
pop, really.
Pop music, whatever that format is.
It's probably pop.
All the popular music. I don't know what the kids are listening to. We'll put it that way. I know what the mid-20s kids are listening to. I feel like is more where I am. So it is newer music. But yeah, you keep up with more current trends than I do in music, I would say.
Okay, but here's what's funny. Because I do, it gives my grandkids the ick.
Because you know all the stuff you shouldn't know.
Well, when Chapel Roan's Hot to Go came out, and I'm singing it, they were both like, how does that old man know HOTTO?
That's because you're always listening to those hip songs, Jeff. You are, though, because you were looking at a chart. You read me off some song names that were, high on the charts. And I thought, I don't even know if I know any of these because I'm not riding around with Jeff anymore. We need to spend more time together, Jeff. I guess I could listen to it on my own, but I'm not gonna.
You're such a sweet Whistle Britches.
Why, thank you. I do think I've watched some documentary. Here's me nerding out again. I've watched some documentaries about how people respond to music. I think it's fascinating how it can work with people with Alzheimer's and things like that. When you play familiar, like it helps them retain memories. Playing music, it can actually help their cognition improve.
Well, that makes sense because I don't care who you are. I don't care what the song is. There are songs that immediately transport you back to that moment in time.
Yep, exactly. And I think that's really interesting. Some people are more affected by it than others. This is where I got really nerdy. Is that I think that I am based on what I already know about myself. Because when I come in here in the mornings, a lot of times I'm just playing an upbeat song. It's what I have to get my body moving. It will start my body moving in order to get out of bed. A lot of times in the mornings, I just have to pull a song from my workout playlist because my foot will start tapping. It will start my entire body moving. And I don't know that it has that. I mean, it is a really uplifting effect to me. The difference between working out, listening to a podcast, and working out, listening to music is a huge difference in my energy levels. I'll just feel like my legs are attached to weights or something when I have a podcast on. You turn on a good song, man, I'm feeling it. I'm running. I think my brain is more susceptible to music than some.
No,
Are you one of those people?
I agree 100% with you. I mean, I even know that there are certain times, just like driving, I need to have a certain playlist going, to stay awake.
You got one of those to keep you up and moving? It's because I looked up scientifically what it's doing. It releases dopamine. Did you know that?
Did not know that.
It does. Neuroplasticity. Music can physically change the brain, enhancing connections, functions. That's why things like Alzheimer's can be affected by it. So that's really cool.
Wow.
And then emotional and cognitive engagement. Music activates multiple brain areas involved in emotion, memory, and reward, making it a rich, multifaceted experience. So this is my love of music, and I'm glad most of us love it. And I'm thankful for it every morning. Yeah, I'm really thankful that music gets me going every morning and gets me through workouts. Without music, Jeff, I'd be dragged.
No, that's why I said I am too. I know.
You're like, not on my behalf, on your behalf. I'm really glad we have it.
I've worked with you long enough to know. I'm like, I give you a hard time about listening to that music, but please keep listening.
Even though every morning I come in here dancing, you're like, oh, there she is again. It's good stuff. I think that's all I'm going to nerd out about today. I didn't have much to nerd out
Well, I think
about.
that's, I was hoping for us to be able to be trying this, grease box.
So that's why.
That even sounds weird.
Grease box?
Grease,
Ew.
that sounds gross.
I do. Well, ew. What would you put in a grease box? Fries.
Oh.
Gotta have fries.
Gotta have fries in there. Yeah.
Some chicken.
Well, anything deep fried.
Chicken.
Yeah.
A fried chicken. Maybe a deep fried butter. Man. State Fair this September. Grease box. If you're listening, State Fair of Oklahoma, you could sell full-on grease boxes.
You should sell grease boxes. That is a great idea.
They're going to have to be the full cardboard, though. You need some thick cardboard to collect all that grease in them. Hey, we might be onto something. We know some people at the State Fair. We can make this happen. Grease box.
If you do it right, because you could put so much in the grease box, you could sell it for $104.
Ooh.
See what I did?
What makes me happy and sad is that some people would buy this.
Oh.
Grease box?
Grease box.
Heck yeah.
All right. Well, maybe next week we will have our Universal Yums box from Greece to sample the food from Greece.
Not to be confused with the future State Fair of Oklahoma Grease box.